Hello, friends. Welcome back to my channel. This is AAHELI Bhattacharya, and I pursue B.Sc Statistics and Data Science. Today, we are diving into one of the most important and useful concepts in statistics, which is frequency distribution. Let's make this fun, simple, and full of examples that you can actually relate to. Let's start with what is frequency distribution? Okay. Suppose you're counting how many chocolates you eat in a week. That number you note down, that's an observation. If you track it for a month and see how often you ate two chocolates, three chocolates, or 10 chocolates in one sitting, that's the frequency. In short, observation is what you're measuring, okay, and frequency is how many times it occurs. When we put this together in a table, that's your frequency distribution, like a scoreboard of data. Now, there are two types of frequency distribution. One is simple frequency distribution, and the other is group frequency distribution. What is simple frequency distribution? This is like ordering pizza for yourself. Each value is shown individually with its frequency. Alright, it's supposed to be simple, neat, like no toppings confusion, right? Now, coming to the next part, which is group frequency distribution. Now, imagine ordering pizza for a party. You don't care about each person's exact choice, right? You group them like veg, non veg, extra cheese. Here, data is arranged into intervals or groups, and then the frequencies are shown. Coming to the uses of frequency distribution. Why do we use it? There are three big reasons. First is condensation and summarization, right? What is that? Instead of writing 100 exam marks individually, we compress them into neat intervals. Okay? Next is visualization. What is that? It helps us easily see the averages, patterns like skewness, data leaning left or right, or whether everyone flunked together. Now, these topics like skewness and kurtosis will come later into the chapter. We will discuss it then. The third reason is probability approximation. It lets us guess the nature of probability distribution in the population, like predicting how likely you are to binge watch 5 hours of Netflix again. Alright, just a moment, guys. Now we will come to the terms associated with frequency distribution. First, let's see class interval. What is class interval? When data covers a big range, we divide it into groups. Each group is called a class interval. For example, for exam marks, instead of writing 0, 1, 2, all the way to 100, we use intervals like 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, and so on. Now, coming to the note, what is open end class? Open end class is not specified, where the end is not specified. Any one of the end is not specified, we will say that it is an open end class. For example, like income above rupees 1 lakh. Now, coming to the next term, which is class frequency. This is the number of observations that fall inside a class interval. Okay. For example, if 15 students scored marks between 40 to 49, then the frequency of that class interval will be 15. All right. And when you add up all the class frequencies, you get the total frequency, which is the total number of students in this case. Coming to the next term, which is class limit. Each class interval has two limits. The first is lower class limit and the next is upper class limit. What is lower class limit? It is the starting value. And what is upper class limit? It is the ending value. For example, in the class interval of 50 to 59, the lower limit will be 50 and the upper limit will be 59. Coming to the next term, which is class boundaries. These are the real limits. These are the real limits of the class interval that remove any gaps between intervals. Okay? For example, if we take the class interval 15 to 19, the lower class boundary, yes, the lower class boundary will be 14.5 and the upper class boundary will be 19.5. How is it calculated? The formula for this is the lower class boundary is equal to lower limit minus gap divided by 2, and upper class boundary is calculated by the formula upper limit plus the gap divided by 2. So yes, we are done with today's topics. Like this ensures for class boundaries, I must say that it ensures smooth transition, like making sure there are no empty seats between any friends in a movie hall, right? So yeah, for the quick revision, let's start. For the quick recap, what is frequency distribution? It organizes data into a neat table. There are two types, which is simple and group data. The uses are condensation and summarization, shows data patterns and approximates probability. The key terms we discussed for today's class, which is class intervals, class frequency, class limit, and class boundaries. And that wraps up today's topic, frequency distribution. In the next video, I'll cover the remaining terms of frequency distribution like class mark, class width or size, and more. So stay tuned. The fun with the stats is just beginning, right? So yes, this is Ahili Bhattacharya signing off. See you in the next one. Bye.